So what's going on, everyone? This is Archery Customs, and yes, I have the world's most powerful crossbow. Oh, it got
Well, that was impossible.
So finally, a crossbow Yerf would be proud of. And in honor of my favorite YouTuber, let me show you its features. So starting from the business end, we have a 2-inch PVC limb. Right in the center, there is a 1.5-inch, 20-inch wide piece to stabilize the center. I've shot this thing a dozen times, and it took me a while to get the pre-tension right, and also had to put a center piece because the middle was bending a little too much. So coming at the string, this is, a close-up of it, this is a 40-strand blue and black BYC string tied in by me. The string is about, it's a little over 8 foot long. It took me several hours to make, kind of annoying, but it works very well. Now here you have the first piece of the winch. These are the hooks that attach the winch to the string all the way up there, and if you notice, there's some rubber here. So when I cock it all the way back and it returns, I can take these off, and then the rubber will return them to the front without having to do any extra work. So now we're looking at the stock. You can see it better from here. There is two 2x6s with a V-groove cut, both at 45 degrees. Coming right to the middle, this is a 360-degree pivot. It's actually a office chair. I used the office chair, but it also has a hinge, so you can tilt it up, and you can also turn it back and forth. This thing is perfectly balanced, so it takes no weight to push it down. Coming back here to the trigger, essentially it's just a giant version of the smaller triggers I made. There's a spring in here, and yeah, it is actually made of 3/4 oak. It is very solid and very strong. Coming to the very end, you have a 2,000-pound Harbor Freight winch. And this winch is completely necessary to pull this back. If I try to pull this back with my hands, I can't even get it a quarter way. I'm assuming the draw weight is about 800 pounds. It could be higher, but yeah, it's pretty strong. And the final component of the crossbow itself is obviously the winch trigger. It goes back and forth, and the battery. This is just a regular battery I got out of my truck because I needed to replace it, but it still has some life left in it. Now that you've seen the features, what does it shoot? A solid steel broomstick handle. So this is actually a very simple make. I cut the end and put a knock on the end, duct tape fletching. And this is a solid steel sharpened arrowhead. It actually goes in about 2 inches, and I put a popper in it. It should be solid enough to shoot it a few times. So before we shoot this for destruction, let's shoot the bare shaft. We're gonna weigh it and chronograph it to see if this really is the most powerful crossbow in the world. Standard crossbow bolt, 22 grams. This is the bare shaft, just under 200 grams. So we're going to chronograph it with this 150-pound crossbow to test the chrony and also have something to compare the crossbow to. 61.3 meters per second. I gotta admit, cocking this thing is terrifying. 40 meters per second. Look at the damage. Oh my lord. I don't even know where the tip went. It completely chunked this and just hit this. That is absolutely amazing. So that was actually my first test shot with this at full draw, and not too bad. Although I tried, these were not a good idea though. It took so long to cock because it kept twisting the hooks sideways and it wouldn't go on the D-loop. But I just ripped them off, and I'm going to do without them. I have no clue how this happened, but the arrow hit it sideways, causing the tip to fly off. And it is completely stuck in here. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to redo that shot. Okay, so we broke the first arrow, but nothing a little tape and a knife can't fix. Wow, when you look at that, it looks like the friction from the handle stopped it, but it didn't stop the knife from going. It literally kept going. So much momentum. As cool as PVC bows are, no one talks about how unreliable they are. I mean, obviously they're reliable to an extent. This is kind of pushing the bounds of what PVC can do, but you can kind of see it some here and here, and right there. It's putting a lot of stress on the limbs, and it has already lost a lot of pre-tension, so this is probably the max that this setup can do. I honestly think using 1.5 inch would be more efficient than using 2 inch, because it's so big it's just way too much weight to move and it doesn't want to flex. Look at that, it actually broke. Wow. Well, hope everyone liked the video. That'll be it for today. Last shot just for you guys. Even though it's broke, still want to shoot it. Still works.